Welcome in this video. Today is Saturday, last week of the month of January 2026. This is the last week of the month of January. I want to do a weekly market breakdown analysis, show you how the price action moved this week, and potentially do a top-down analysis of the next week, or where the price could potentially move during the next week on the higher time frame and the medium time frame. Let's go straight to my time break and show you and share my own opinion with you guys. If you like this video, if you like what I'm doing, please make sure to like, comment and share, and don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification to not miss out my next video. In this channel, I'm not yet a professional trader. I'm just sharing my own experience and share my 2 years of experience as a trader. I know trading is like a school. It takes time to develop more yourself, to learn to be disciplined. It's a school, but some people doesn't look that way, and I'm still struggling to visualize trading like a school, like a degree to obtain. Guys, let's go to the chat. Finish the talk, let's go straight to the chat, and I want to share. Every Saturday I start with gold as my first pair that I analyze, and second I will go with GBP/USD, and I will end up with Euro/USD. We are on Euro/USD. On GBP, I am now on gold daily time frame, and we can see how the last 2 days of price drop very strong to the downside and grab a lot of internal liquidity here. You can see here a lot of this internal liquidity. We take all the stop loss of this buyers that to put their stop loss here, and they will keep buying. And you can see on daily time frame, price is strongly bullish, and there's nothing to say. Price is very strongly bullish, and potentially next week I'm expecting price to keep bearish, to remain bearish, keep pushing and mitigate this demand. And why not, price could also push more lower to mitigate the extreme, this weekly supply, the extreme of this weekly supply, before we can see a reverse to the downside. Next week I'm expecting price to keep pushing to the downside. Yes, next week we are more focused on looking at how to sell. Yeah, on gold. See on the H4 time frame. On the H4 time frame, we can see clearly that the order flow was clearly bullish. We had a swing high, a weak high, a weak swing high, a strong swing low. We have a massive push to the upside, and yesterday and Thursday, massive rejection to the downside. It was a manipulation from the institution. The institution, they are the one that they set their position inside the market. That's why the price dropped massively. It was not a big announcement. When I check out the calendar, this was the news from yesterday. Let me show you guys. It was here yesterday why price dropped massively. It was the last Canada come across. Yes guys, it was this news. It was on Thursday. This is when the price started to drop, and let's see this what happened. What the forward just happened, and this what happened. Why this? It was not a high impact news, nothing like that, and just price just massively dropped because the big guys in the market, they took their money, they set their gold. They took their money. That's why the price dropped. And going back to the chart, you can see now is from swing, we now shift bearish. The swing now is bearish, you can see. And this is our current zone. We have this daily. We have this H4 supply here. We have this H4 supply. You can see we already mitigate the week. Price eventually push back lower, mitigate this H4 demand in front of this daily demand, and that's why we have a massive rejection to the upside. Price eventually came back, mitigate the supply range. I'm expecting price to come back to push more higher, deeply inside the supply, before we can see a potential more push to the downside again. This is my own view on gold for the next week, and guys, this is how I'm expecting gold to move. And on the H1, you can see the swing was bullish, and suddenly we push on 1 hour. Lot of liquidity was grabbed here. Massive, over 40,000, over the 4,000 movement to the downside. and you can see how price massively drop. And at this point, H1, the order flow is still bearish now, and nothing is here. Nothing. There's no clean demand where we can look to short. But looking at the H4, here, looking at the H4, I'm not expecting price to hold here. I'm expecting price to keep pushing up, maybe sweep liquidity behind this H, behind the high above the H1, the supply. Then now we can see a push to the downside to mitigate the daily demand to the downside. The daily demand. This is what I'm expecting on gold, and this is my own opinion. And maybe for next week, I'm expecting price to keep pushing here eventually, because this is a nice liquidity zone to target for me. It's a nice liquidity, nice buy side liquidity here. Yeah, this is a nice buy side liquidity here. Looking at the H1, price could easily push up, tag, sweep this high, or even come back here, because you see how this one here, you see how this H1 here above here to target. Okay guys, this is everything on gold. Let's go to GBPUSD. Here is GBPUSD on the weekly time frame. You can see the price has been very bullish for a while, very massively bullish, and as we rejected here, price eventually take out this high at the end of the week with massive rejection to the downside. See how price close with massive rejection, and we have what we have. We have this weekly demand below, this weekly demand, because we react from this supply create the movement, and demand kick in, they push the price to the upside. Eventually we come back, we take out this, we take a lot of buy side liquidity behind above this high, and I'm expecting a price, see how the price close on the weekly time frame. And by next week we are keep looking to short even until we mitigate the extreme of this flip demand, supply to demand flip here, and potentially we could see now a push to the upside now, a continuation like this. Yeah, because price need to push and fill all those order here before we can see push to the upside. And on the daily time frame, you can see we have a nice break of structure. We can see the 3 previous day, when Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday was clearly bearish, but since last week and Monday and Tuesday, the order flow was very strongly bullish, and we are still bullish. The internal is still, the order flow is still bullish at this moment. But we can see how the weekly close is a clear confirmation that price will keep short going down, even slowly like this, until this weekly demand which you get. Then now we can see a reverse to the upside. Just something like that could happen. On the H4, the price play very massively bullish during this week. We start the week on Friday. Monday we start price. We start here. Monday price was nothing, was very. You can see we have a break of structure. We mitigate price pullback, mitigate the demand. From this demand strong push to the upside, we break to the upside. We break this week high for the left. And price was strongly bullish, and at this point now you can see price trying to push the demand, continue pushing the price up, but they lose momentum, and we are currently inside the recent H4 demand here. And if now this recent H4 demand fail and break this below this low, it's a clear confirmation for price to keep looking to push to the downside until we can expect price to. And I'm seeing the supply. We have also the supply here. Price, we have the supply here on the left here. Yeah, the price action was very complicated this week. It was just ranging the last 3 days of the week, and we are here now. Or the first scenario, what could happen? As this demand price, this is where the institution get in to push the price up like this. Now demand price could react to the upside, or before react to the upside, come back inside the supply, and we can see if the demand will keep pushing to the upside, or they will lose momentum, lose the strength to keep pushing up. In this case, if price break through the demand, now it's 100%. We are just looking to short now. They will sell a more high probability compared to long. And looking at the major time frame, my major time frame, because I'm not looking at H1 on GBPUSD USD, and you can see clearly that the price was very ranging. I have an opportunity here, but I miss it because I was not in front of my chart. And price was, you can see the way price was only clearly bullish, very nice. Eventually we shift bearish here. Wonderful, we shift bearish here. Then we are currently bearish. The swing mid time frame swing is bearish, and we are inside the daily demand. And you can see on Monday we You can see if enter and shift bullish, and create a new M15 sweep and inducement. We are looking to buy because we price shift after the daily demand. The H4 demand was mitigated, and we are expecting a nice pullback to the upside. You can follow that, guys. This is everything for GBPSD, and I already break it down. Let's go to Euro ASD. Yeah, if you are now on Euro ASD, this is a weekly time frame. If you look very well, you will see what is happening. You have this demand from the left, price react the demand in this supply, price mitigate the supply, we push up. Then now price came back again, grab all the buy side liquidity behind this weekly supply from the left. You can see here. And what happened? You can see now after the price liquidity was grabbed, and we pushed to the downside. And zoom. If I zoom in, you can see here was a supply was in control, demand kick in, push the price inside the recent supply and push back inside the demand, and we grab this inducement inside the weekly demand, and you can see how demand kick in, they push the price massively to the upside. As you can see how price close. You see this week, you can see how we have a massive rejection. Why? Because we take all, we have some inducement here. We have some inducement here too, some liquidity from the left here, some orders here. Price took all those orders, and you can see how price close, massively close to the downside. And I'm expecting price to keep going down because we have this fresh demand. And by next week, I'm expecting price to keep pushing down to eventually mitigate this demand. Just before we can see a continuation to the upside until we mitigate this weekly supply from the left here. Looking at the daily time frame, we can see you have a massive. If we look at the daily time from the left, there was a lot of liquidity here. You can see very lot of liquidity. We grab those liquidity and we push to the downside, we push back clearly. And it's obvious that we have these two demand. We have one demand here and you have the second here. If I show let me show the daily, the weekly one on the daily. You can see you have this daily demand, you have this first one, you have the second one at the extreme. There are two. These are the two zones where price could potentially push more lower. And you can see I'm more looking to keep shorting here until this demand mitigate. And why not the weekly demand? And looking at the H4 for next week, I'm more looking to short. Looking at the H4, this price action is clearly bullish, and we can see internal shift bearish, and the internal is now bearish. We have this fresh new supply where price could eventually next week pull back inside here. And I know price may not pull back. Price could just keep going down straight to until price could now mitigate this demand, this H4 demand, this H4 opposite demand from the left here. Then before price can easily pull back inside the supply before we can see a push to the downside, or price could just keep pushing straight to the downside without any pullback. Yeah. And on the M15, because M15 is clearly, M15 is still bullish for me, and M15 is still bullish, but the internal is bearish. For me, it's clear that by Monday we will shift bearish, because clear, because we are from this demand, we have a nice push to the upside, and we mitigate this demand also, and we will shift bearish, and before we can see a pullback, something like this, price will break low before we can see a pullback. Before now continue to the downside, or price, I know how USD is, price may just create a small pullback like this before continuing to the downside. Yeah, this is what can happen by next week. And this is everything for this video. This is my own opinion, and this is, I show you my own top-down analysis. If you take value from this, I will be so happy. If you have some question, don't feel free to contact me. Just drop your comment, and let's share, let's discuss, and let's learn together. We learn together. Okay, guys, thank you so much. I appreciate it. See you at the end of the next week. Cheers.